Have you ever caught yourself looking in the mirror and thinking, I don't feel as vibrant as I used to? Or maybe you've noticed that your energy levels seem to dip faster than they did a few years ago. If that sounds familiar, don't worry, you're not alone. Many of us start noticing these little changes as we get older. But here's the good news. There are things you can do every day to slow down the aging process and even feel younger than you have in years. And it all starts with what's on your plate. Today, we're going to talk about something that might surprise you. Certain foods could actually be speeding up the aging process without you even realizing it. Yes, you heard that right. Some of the foods you eat regularly might be contributing to wrinkles, fatigue, or even more serious health issues down the line. But don't panic. It's not about cutting everything you love out of your diet. Instead, we're going to focus on 4 specific foods that may be doing more harm than good after 65, and I'll show you exactly what to eat instead to keep your body feeling strong and your mind sharp. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear plan for making simple swaps in your diet that can make a big difference in how you look and feel. We'll go over why these foods might be aging you faster, what healthier alternatives you can choose, and how to make these changes in a way that feels easy and sustainable. So let's dive in and start with the first food on the list. The first food that might be aging you faster is something many of us reach for when we're craving something sweet. Sugar. Now, before you panic and throw out every dessert in your house, let me explain. Sugar isn't inherently evil. In fact, our bodies need some sugar to function properly. The problem comes when we consume too much of it, especially the refined kind found in processed snacks, baked goods, and sugary drinks. Over time, excess sugar can lead to inflammation in the body, which is one of the main culprits behind aging. It can also damage collagen and elastin, the proteins in your skin that keep it looking firm and youthful. Have you ever noticed how people who eat lots of sugary foods tend to have duller, more wrinkled skin? That's because sugar is literally breaking down the building blocks of your skin. But here's the good news. You don't have to give up sweetness altogether. Instead, try swapping out refined sugar for natural alternatives like fresh fruit, honey, or maple syrup. For example, if you're craving something sweet after dinner, instead of reaching for a cookie, try slicing up an apple and sprinkling it with cinnamon. Not only will this satisfy your sweet tooth, but it will also provide fiber and nutrients that support your overall health. Small changes like these can add up to big benefits over time. Now, let's move on to the second food that might be accelerating aging: processed meats. This includes things like bacon, sausages, deli meats, and hot dogs. These foods are often high in sodium, preservatives, and unhealthy fats, which can increase inflammation and put extra strain on your heart and other organs. Plus, studies have shown that eating too much processed meat can increase the risk of chronic diseases like heart disease and diabetes, which can take a toll on your quality of life as you age. So what should you eat instead? Lean proteins like chicken, turkey, fish, or plant-based options like beans and lentils are excellent choices. They're packed with nutrients that support muscle strength, brain health, and overall vitality. For example, instead of making a sandwich with deli ham, try using grilled chicken breast or even mashed avocado for a creamy, satisfying alternative. These swaps might seem small, but they can make a world of difference in how you feel every day. Now that we've covered sugar and processed meats, let's talk about the third food that could be aging you faster: refined carbohydrates. These are the white breads, pastas, and pastries that many of us grew up eating. While they might taste great, refined carbs are quickly broken down into sugar in your body, leading to spikes in blood sugar levels and, you guessed it, more inflammation. Over time, this can contribute to weight gain, insulin resistance, and even cognitive decline. The good news is that there are plenty of healthier carb options that won't leave you feeling deprived. Whole grains like brown rice, quinoa, oats, and whole wheat bread are rich in fiber, which helps stabilize your blood sugar and keeps you feeling full longer. For instance, instead of serving white rice with dinner, try switching to quinoa or wild rice. You'll get the same comforting texture with added nutrients and benefits for your body. These kinds of swaps are simple, realistic, and totally doable. No drastic lifestyle changes required. Now that we've explored 3 foods that might be speeding up the aging process, let's move on to the 4th and final one, which plays a surprisingly big role in how we age. Ready to learn more? Let's jump into it. Now that we've explored 3 foods that might be speeding up the aging process, let's move on to the 4th and final one. And this one might surprise you. It's something many of us consume regularly without realizing how much it could be affecting our health as we age. Processed oils and trans fats. You've probably heard about the dangers of trans fats before, but here's what you might not know. These unhealthy fats don't just harm your heart. They can also accelerate aging by increasing inflammation and damaging your cells. Processed oils, like those found in fried foods, baked goods, and even some salad dressings, are often high in omega-6 fatty acids. While omega-6s are essential in small amounts, too much of them can throw off the balance between omega-6 and omega-3 fatty acids in your body. This imbalance leads to chronic inflammation, which is one of the main drivers of aging. Think about it. Have you ever noticed how people who eat a lot of fried or processed foods tend to look older than their years? That's because these unhealthy fats are literally breaking down your skin and internal tissues faster than they should. But here's the good news. You don't have to give up your favorite flavors to avoid these harmful fats. Instead, focus on healthier alternatives like olive oil, avocado oil, or coconut oil. For example, instead of frying your vegetables in vegetable oil, try sautéing them in a little olive oil with some garlic and herbs. Not only will this taste delicious, but it will also provide anti-inflammatory benefits that support your overall health. Small swaps like these can make a big difference in how you feel and look over time. Now that we've covered the 4 foods that might be aging you faster, let's talk about what you should be eating instead to slow down the aging process and keep your body feeling strong and vibrant. The first thing to focus on is antioxidant-rich foods. Antioxidants are like the bodyguards of your cells. They fight off free radicals, which are unstable molecules that can damage your DNA and accelerate aging. Foods like berries, spinach, kale, and nuts are packed with antioxidants and can help protect your body from the inside out. For example, blueberries are often called a superfood because they're loaded with compounds that improve memory, boost brain function, and even reduce the risk of chronic diseases. Try adding a handful of blueberries to your morning oatmeal or tossing some spinach into your smoothie. These small changes might seem simple, but they can add up to big benefits for your health and longevity. Next, let's talk about healthy fats. As we age, our bodies need the right kinds of fats to support brain health, hormone production, and overall vitality. Healthy fats like those found in avocados, nuts, seeds, and fatty fish like salmon are excellent choices. They help keep your brain sharp, your skin glowing, and your energy levels stable. For instance, instead of spreading butter on your toast, try using mashed avocado. It's creamy, delicious, and packed with nutrients that your body will thank you for. Finally, let's not forget about fiber-rich foods. Fiber is essential for maintaining a healthy digestive system, which becomes even more important as we get older. Foods like beans, lentils, whole grains, and vegetables are rich in fiber and can help regulate your digestion, stabilize your blood sugar, and even lower your risk of certain diseases. For example, instead of snacking on chips, try roasting some chickpeas with a little olive oil and spices. They're crunchy, flavorful, and much better for your body than processed snacks. Now that we've talked about what to avoid and what to embrace in your diet, let's take a moment to recap the key points and discuss how you can start making these changes in a way that feels easy and sustainable. Remember, it's not about perfection, it's about progress. Even small adjustments can lead to big improvements in how you feel and look over time. Are you ready to take the next step toward a healthier, more vibrant you? Let's dive into the final part of this video, where we'll wrap everything up and leave you with some actionable tips to get started today. Now that we've covered what to avoid and what to embrace in your diet, let's talk about how you can start making these changes in a way that feels easy, natural, and sustainable. Because here's the truth. No one expects you to overhaul your entire diet overnight. In fact, small, consistent changes are far more effective than trying to do everything at once. So let's break it down into simple steps that you can start implementing today. The first step is to take inventory of your current eating habits. Grab a notebook or open the Notes app on your phone and jot down what you typically eat in a day. Be honest with yourself. Are there any processed foods, sugary snacks, or unhealthy fats sneaking into your meals? Once you identify these culprits, you can start swapping them out for healthier alternatives. For example, if you notice that you're reaching for a bag of chips in the afternoon, try replacing it with a handful of nuts or some sliced veggies with hummus. These swaps might seem small, but they can add up to big benefits over time. Next, focus on adding more nutrient-dense foods to your plate. Instead of thinking about what you need to cut out, shift your mindset to what you can add in. For instance, if you're not already eating leafy greens like spinach or kale, try incorporating them into your meals a few times a week. You can toss them into soups, blend them into smoothies, or even sauté them as a side dish. The key is to make these additions feel enjoyable, not like a chore. Remember, it's all about progress, not perfection. Another tip is to plan ahead. One of the biggest challenges when it comes to healthy eating is convenience. Let's face it, grabbing a prepackaged snack or ordering takeout is often easier than preparing a meal from scratch. But with a little planning, you can set yourself up for success. Spend an hour or two on the weekend prepping healthy snacks and meals for the week. For example, you can roast a batch of vegetables, cook a pot of quinoa, or portion out some fresh fruit and nuts into grab-and-go containers. Having these options ready to go will make it much easier to stick to your goals, even on busy days. Now let's talk about one of the most important aspects of healthy eating: enjoying your food. Too often, people approach healthy eating as a form of punishment, something they have to do rather than something they want to do. But here's the thing. Food should be pleasurable. It's one of life's greatest joys, especially as we age. So instead of focusing solely on what's good or bad, think about how you can create meals that are both nutritious and delicious. Experiment with new recipes, try different spices and herbs, and don't be afraid to get creative in the kitchen. When you enjoy the process of cooking and eating, you're much more likely to stick with it long term. Finally, let's not forget the importance of balance. While it's great to focus on eating healthy foods, it's also okay to indulge every now and then. Life is meant to be enjoyed, and that includes savoring your favorite treats in moderation. The key is to make sure these indulgences are the exception, not the rule. For example, if you love ice cream, treat yourself to a small scoop once a week instead of keeping a pint in the freezer. This way, you can satisfy your cravings without derailing your progress. Now, let's take a moment to recap what we've learned today. We talked about 4 foods that might be aging you faster: sugar, processed meats, refined carbs, and unhealthy fats, and explored healthier alternatives to replace them. We also discussed practical steps you can take to make these changes in a way that feels easy and sustainable. Whether it's swapping out sugary snacks for fresh fruit, adding more leafy greens to your meals, or planning ahead for busy days, every small step counts. Remember, it's never too late to start taking care of your body and mind. Even after 65, the choices you make today can have a profound impact on how you look and feel in the years to come. And don't forget, you don't have to do this alone. Share your thoughts or experiences in the comments below. I'd love to hear how you're planning to make these changes, or if you've already started. Your journey can inspire others, and together we can build a community of support and encouragement. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more tips like these. We're here to help you live your best life at any age, and we have plenty more content coming your way. Thank you so much for spending this time with me, and remember, small changes can lead to big results. Here's to feeling younger, stronger, and more vibrant than ever before.